goodness, that means...
This can't be happening!
You really don't do anything halfway, do you? I thought I knew what you could do with your 8 leaves training, but you're fighting on a whole nother level today.
Good thing, too. Otherwise, I'd never have stood a chance against you. Time to make good on our wager, Crow. You're coming back with us. What in the...
You've been piloting a Divine Knight for 1 day. I've been using mine for 3 years. Did you think I wouldn't have a trump card to play?
Which is interesting when I consider the timelines of things. It's like, huh. I consider how long ago Trails in the Sky was. It's like, oh.
Damn it! It's like I didn't even phase him. My head!
When a Divine Knight is damaged, the Awakener shares their pain. Just as I feared, it was too early. Or perhaps it may have been too late.
No! No, you don't! Guys, what are you doing?
We are going to buy you time to get away from here.
Run, while you still have the chance!
I can't. I won't just leave you all here.
You can, and you must! Heimdall's been occupied, and it's only a matter of time before we've got a full-blown civil war in our hands.
They might have been caught off guard today, but the Imperial Army's full of elite soldiers. When the war starts, it'll be long and bloody.
But it doesn't have to be like that. You and the Ashen Knight could change things. You could find a third way, like Prince Oliver was talking about. A way that doesn't bow to either faction.
You can become the wind that changes the course of this conflict.
Of course, the wind.
You guys, No, I can't! You'll never make it against him by yourselves! Just run, please!
Just look at yourself. You're in no position to be worrying about us.
Yeah! Just leave it to us!
Once you've escaped, we'll go join the instructors, so don't worry. Take care of him for us. Okay, Celine?
Easier said than done.
Prolonging current battle poses the risk of sustaining irreparable damage. Immediate tactical retreat is advised.
That voice! Are you Valimar?
So you've gathered enough power, have you? Well, we may have lost this battle, but at least we'll live to fight another day. All right, get us out of here. As far away in Erebonia as you can take us.
Command acknowledged. Charting course.
Wait, no! That's my call to make! No, they need me! Let me stay!
What a way to end that game. It's still very much like, ah. It's like, I'm so glad that again I can just jump into Cold Steel 2, which I'm again looking very much forward to, considering how different I feel about this game. It's the best way of putting it. It's so much better the second time around, and I feel that very much comes down to one single point to me. well, there's 2 points, but we're ignoring the other one because you know what happened. But the actual point is very much like the bonding system, I feel, is an issue with the game. Because going through it this time, I learned so much more about the characters, felt so more involved with like Class 7, and even Crow. I had an issue with Crow where it's like I didn't really feel attached to him at this point on my first time through. It's like, oh, okay, it's Crow. And it's because there was only like tiny moments where you actually interact with him when you only had a few bonding points to use. It's like if you didn't do that, you're not going to bond with that character, but if you do, you're going to sacrifice bonding with another character. It's like, yeah, but it's like the entire crux of this game feels like it's based around the class. That's what it's based around, this Class 7. So the idea of not having the option to do all the bonding events feels like a bad decision, to be honest. It's like, it just makes you not connect with certain characters here and there, but now it's like very much like, no. I feel very much on board with these characters, very invested in what they're going on about at this point. Obviously helps having the knowledge ahead of time as well, but I do feel like the bonding system was worth an experiment, I'd say. But they need to tweak it if they ever do it again in future, because it lost any kind of cohesion on my first time through in the sense of the class. Whereas this time, having this option, I do feel like this is actually how it's meant to be played, is on a New Game Plus. I honestly feel that's probably what they were expecting everyone to do, to play it again, and then have all that going on. But it sort of like diminishes the first time through. Hopefully that all makes sense. It's basically the bonding system. It's like I'm just sort of like, just let me have all the bonding points from the beginning. And then it's so much more interesting. It's so much more, you get so much more invested. It's just, that's the best way I can put it. You just get so much more invested. So of course, like, the music's fantastic, the gameplay's fun. I enjoyed the gameplay much more this time around, but that's because I know how to play. Is the best way of putting it. It really is the best way of putting it. There's an idiot before. Like, I think the issue is that, if we're coming to an issue. One of the reasons I probably was so bad at playing the game the first time around is because I didn't need to play, is the best way of putting it. Like, normal was way too easy. So the fact I've played on hard, it's like, well, I at least have to pay attention. So it's like, okay, it's got a difficulty level to it where I have to pay attention like I did in the previous games in the series. It's like, yeah, so it's like, yeah, the bonding system and the difficulty are probably the points I would say are negative in this game. But the positives, story's good. Story's good. The background story all bubbling up to what's coming at the end. It's like, oh, I love that. I love that, because all the little clues are there. You just dismiss them because it's typical Falcom putting a very obvious thing right in front of you, so you're focused on the obvious thing right in front of you, which is C being Crow. You're like, aha, I figured it out. I figured you out. Ha ha ha. All the while they're hiding everything else that's going on. It's like, you devious. But I love them for that. I love them for that. I very, 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 very much do. So yeah, my opinion on this game has very much shifted in terms of how I feel about it. So the question is like, what's its score? Well, you know the scale we use these days, on a scale of like 1 to 77, it's about a 67, but I've got to take off an 11 because it has no faults. I mean, that's just given, right? So I'd say, based on that scale, I mean, obviously you've got to then translate it to the other scale, otherwise it doesn't make sense. Like, you can't translate that score not to another scale, otherwise people are like, what does that mean? Where does that sit on the scale compared to everyone else's? It's an apple. That's where it fits on the scale. How I would rate this game is an apple. A Royal Gala apple. So yeah, Royal Gala out of apples. That's how I'd rate the game. It could be a better apple, but it has no faults. Seems to make sense to me. It all makes sense to me. But yeah, so, on top of all that, so that's my opinion of the game, just straight up the game, compared to how I first played it. On top of that, we've got the idea of like, how do I feel about it now I've played the previous games? Do I feel more invested? Do I feel more enthralled. It's like, I don't feel like that's what was going on. I had that extra enjoyment, sure, but I do feel it's all about that, the bonding points and the difficulty. I feel that's the major issue with the game. It's like, you could very much start with this game, it's fine. Again, if anything, it's made me even more excited being partway through the Crossbell games and then seeing all these little bits that are going on. I'm so looking forward to Azure. I can't wait. Like, hurry up, Geofront. Like, take your time, but hurry up. I so want to play it. I need to know what happens. The story is still continuing. See, why are there weapons there? Oh! I was wondering about these weapons. So, is it all like potential like contractors, awakeners, all that type of stuff? So it's like the reason like Reen's there surrounded by everyone else because of like the pact they formed together around Valimar. And that's what all the blades are, all like the previous. So it's sort of like, maybe it's Drykel's army is the other blades. So you've probably got like one blade that is Drykel's, surrounded by all the other blades that are like Drykel's army, his friends, his comrades in arms, all that type of stuff. That would make sense. People have said we'll find out in future, so it's like, well, I'm going to keep speculating until then. It'll be quite fun. But anyway, obviously Cold Steel 2 is coming, and there's going to be some other stuff as well, because we need to go back and see all the other dancing options. And what else? Oh yeah, housekeeping, of course. If you want to support the channel on Patreon, you can find a link down in the description. Or just search the Twit Gamer. Be sure to press the subscribe button and press the bell. Leave a like. Donate blood. It's good. Donate blood. Go donate blood. I'd recommend it. You help people out. Ta-ta for now.